Hello right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Biomutant video. Today I'm going to go over everything you need to know about character creation, how much has changed in the last 2 or 3 years since Biomutant got announced, recent interviews with Famitsu, as well as a brand new Twitter post by the official account show how much is going into the new game, what differences we can expect with the character creation, and pretty much I'm going to give you everything you need to know about mutations, bionic abilities, and how you'll be able to change and adapt your character as you progress through the game. A lot of this info comes directly from Stefan Lindquist, the creative director of the game himself, albeit in some older interviews, so do bear in mind some of this stuff may have changed, but it does look like we're getting a firmer picture of how you're going to progress with your character and really make it your own. So please do leave a like, make sure you subscribe for the best in open world and survival games news, guides and opinion as we preview all of the character creation possibilities. So back in 2018, Stefan Lindquist, as I said, the creative director, did a PC Gamer weekend event where he showcased his game and talked about all the possibilities of the character creation. And it's obviously changed a lot since then, although lots of it is still pretty much the same. You can see a revisit later on also develops and shows more about your strengths, your stats, in a little bit more vibrancy in these pretty much placeholder little circles on the right hand side, and we've still got the circular kind of indicator on how you choose your sort of mutations. But the latest Famitsu article of last week highlights and shows the differences that have gone into it now. There are new stages that will make up your character as you're choosing, including race. Now there are 6 factions in the game, and it does look like we are going to be able to choose between some of them factions as our kind of base model or our bone structure. These are going to give you your base stats, and then you can go and start adding things like mutations to it. You can then also add elemental effects or how much resistance you have to certain elemental damage types, and this will also change your character appearance, albeit maybe only the right arm. So your race selection is going to be the first screen that you start off with, and there are 6 classes to choose from. The first one we're looking at is Primal, and this is pretty much going to be almost a base kind of character. It's got good agility, good decent amount of strength, but maybe not so much hot on psi energy, which is kind of affecting your telekinesis abilities, which we're going to explain as well. The Damdon's going to have good strength, and so it's going to be really good for melee combat, and you can see it's slightly shorter or stockier. And both the Rex and the Phil have got good intelligence but very different physical stats. And then the Hyra has both high strength and resilience but pretty much low everything else. So built like a tank, but really might not have as much damage output or being able to manipulate any of the energy or any of the other stats to its benefit. And the Margel has a well balanced set of stats, pretty much focusing more on charisma and bargaining power. So before we go too deep on the mutations and how it affects things, let's just go over some of them base stats and so you kind of understand what they will do. So what you've seen is obviously gameplay from 2018, and there have been some changes to these strengths or the sub sort of categories underneath them. Instead of being 5 categories under intelligence or intellect, you now only have 3. Power, Chi energy, and then energy regen. Vitality has been pared back from 3 to 2, just making up health and armor. Strength now strictly just measures your melee damage. Agility is just your movement speed, and charisma still remains the same with barter, but you don't have any more persuasion skills attached to it anymore. This has all been taken off the latest tweet, hot off the press, as I was recording this today. So clearly some things didn't work out correctly in 2018, but now they do.
It goes up to 100 here originally, but later in the game obviously you can overpower them more. It's a full RPG in the background, as you see here from some of the stats. You see the stats beneath the attribute groups.
So that's the actual lead creator talking through it with that PC Gamer interview and session. So go and check it out. I'll leave the link for that full video from 2018. But yes, you can level up your character and you can overpower them eventually. So by making your character have broader, larger shoulders, you're going to increase his base strength stats. You can see he's a lot chunkier too, so that means he's got more vitality, he's going to have more health and more armor. In this next screenshot, you can see the character's a lot more taller and a lot more slender, and it's still got the strength and it's still got a decent amount of vitality, but it's a little bit more balanced across the whole segments. You can see increasing the third stat, which is like the red pinky blob, which is your charisma, pretty much means your character's face goes a little bit smaller and a little bit cuter. By adding more agility, you're making the limbs a little bit longer and a little bit skinnier so that you can move around at faster speed. And putting your points into intelligence or intellect means you've got a much bigger head, but your whole body is much smaller and much more compact. Now, just to break down and explain some of these a little bit more, your energy that you've seen in some of them stats, that is pretty much your telekinesis abilities. So you'll be able to move objects with your mind, allow yourself to levitate, and do all sorts of kind of psi abilities using your energy. Effectively, the creator said it's pretty much your mana, your magic. Now, after that, a brand new addition that we've not seen really until recently is the resistance or tolerances. There are 4 elemental damage resistances: heat, cold, radioactivity, and toxic or biohazard. Now, these won't change your character's appearance except for the colour of your right arm. Now, we have seen some of these areas in the world trailer they showed off a little while ago, and it showed obviously like the green smog area and various other places that are looking a little bit either cold or fiery. So we've got to presume that we'll be able to do certain things in certain areas once we've got some of these abilities maxed out a bit more as well. But you will get a boost depending on what you choose in the character curation screen. So effectively, you could make a character that will be able to survive in certain parts of the map and seasons. Don't forget, Biomutant does have seasons. It's a cylindrical year, so you will have spring, summer, autumn and winter, and come into areas where there was maybe a water or a lake, and that's frozen over now it's winter, so you may be able to get to different areas. Now, it does look like you'll be able to change these throughout the game, and it looks like you'll be able to change your character pretty much as you want, as long as you find the right areas or right points.
So if you saw in the trailer, he's kneeling by a pool. When you find these pools in the open world, then you can access an unlock and an upgrade table for physical mutations. Then you use what we call them biopoints that you are getting from morks, which are specific creatures spawning in the world. If you kill a mork, you get 1 biopoint. But morks are also contagious, so you have to take them down fast because they infect you. So then you also have to find these pools in the open world.
Now obviously this is quite old, but as long as it's remained that way, it does look like you will be able to change and upgrade your character, as I mentioned a couple of times now, throughout the game and mix it up as much as you want. So if the first one that you kind of modify is with biotoxicness, well then this is radioactive energy.
So if you think about Bruce Banner and the Hulk, you're exposing yourself to radioactivity, hence unlocking some form of power or upgrading that.
And then machines you'll find strictly in underground bunkers, and it does look like it improves your psi abilities, as we mentioned, your energy abilities, and these will also give you the ability to kind of deflect bullets and stuff. I still say a word of caution here, we are still going on a mix of information from older interviews and older reveals with the new stuff that they are slowly starting to creep out now. But yeah, it does look like you will be able to really give your character a strong start and then still be able to change and upgrade it to whatever way you want as you progress. The last one that we're really going to talk about or focus on is the character classes. I'm not going to go into the fur colorings and stuff like that, but pretty much you can make it whatever color you want. Now this looks completely cosmetic, doesn't look like it changes any of your stats or your abilities. And then finally we've got the actual classes. This is going to affect your loadouts and your abilities. We know there's 6 of them, and we know that one of them is a pre-order bonus, although it does look like it's available in the game, but the pre-order bonus gets access to it early. Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur and Sentinel. Now the Deadeye is going to come with a pistol and a sword and 2 abilities that improve range combat. Now Commando class comes with an assault rifle, and just maybe like his Arnold Schwarzenegger counterpart, you're going to have lots of big melee damage, but only when you're below 20% health. It's pretty much a last throw of the dice. Psy-Freaks are going to have spark balls and natural energy recovery, and we'll go into details about how you gain some of these abilities more in a little while. The Saboteur is going to be dual wielding one-handed weapons and seems like it's a natural rogue class. And then the Sentinel has 10% increased base armor and comes with an umbrella apparently. We also know that the Mercenary allows you to dual wield two-handed weapons, so making it slightly different from the Saboteur, and the Mercenary is the pre-order bonus. The Mercenary also gives you the ability to have a katana and a wakizashi. So this is all good new stuff, and it allows me to flesh out this video a little bit more. And now we're going to finish off with the Bionic abilities that you'll gain, or items or technology from NPCs that you'll meet in the world.
And there are Bionics. So Biomutations you upgrade and unlock at the biopools you find in the world. The psionic mutations you find in radioactive chambers. Bionics are created by this character called Whis.
So here is what he's pretty much going to give you. Items like these where you'll be able to hoist yourself up cliffs using an arrow, or glider wings that you'll be able to get around the map a lot quicker and easier. And you're going to need a lot of this equipment to get into certain areas. Although Stefan was pretty keen to point out that you may find other ways around it, but there is going to be places like the dead zone or toxic environments that you need specialist equipment, maybe even the mech suit, to actually progress. And there's even more NPCs that will also help you, and they kind of own a certain area. Now again, some stuff may have changed. This is from 2018, but I kind of get the feeling from other stuff we've seen with the NPCs in trailers, it definitely still remains the same thing. That you'll go to a certain area, you'll meet an NPC, he'll tell you MacGuffins, he'll give you abilities to unlock or work towards, and then you can use that equipment or items to get through the harder area. We've seen so many in trailers, but this one is like a jet thrust, pound ground attack as well, which again is a bionic ability. It isn't a mutation or anything like that. And then we've got things like the power fist as well that can do a huge amount of damage to enemies. So there we go. I hope I've been as comprehensive as I can be with the available information. I can't wait to get hold of this game. It does look like I will be able to get hold of early access key, so expect lots of guides and tutorials giving you the full lowdown the minute I'm able to. But it looks exciting, it looks fresh, the combat looks great. All these adjustments to your characters where you can really create your own hero is really, really important to me, or anti-hero. Don't forget, the game relies on you completing the story, and it's up to you whether or not you save the world or not. So very excited about Biomutant. Make sure you've got the notification bell dinged, and I'll see you rat bags for another video very soon.